Hey everyone, it's Coach Christine and welcome to this week's edition of Christine's Kitchen. Happy Easter. It is Easter Sunday, so we're going to be doing lots of cooking all day long today. Now, Easter traditionally in our family is celebrated with family. With this year, obviously it's tough for many family members to be in the same place. So instead of me traveling to Florida, where I usually spend Easter with my dad, we are going to check in with him through FaceTime. And hopefully we can get some ideas for maybe what to cook for our Easter Sunday dinner. Usually when I go and visit out in Florida, we go to this tiny little restaurant in an area called Little Havana. I think the restaurant is called like Columbia or something. And we get the best Cuban food there all the time. So I'm really hoping that today's dish will be inspired with some Cuban flavors and influence. But let's give my dad a FaceTime call, check in, and see what those flavors that we need to add to our dish today are going to be. So we've got my dad in, FaceTimed in. Hey Dad!
Happy Easter!
So tell me a little bit about what kind of the ingredients do you normally have at the Cuban restaurant? What are some of your favorite flavors over there?
Oh boy, everything on the menu. You're probably thinking of the Columbia restaurant in Tampa.
That's exactly the one.
1905, and their signature salad is this incredible bowl. It's got ham and cheese, and they make it together right there at the table. Making it particularly tasty, of course, are the champagne cava sangrias,
Ooh.
also mixed right into it. And the Cuban bread, what better?
So what makes it so unique?
I'm sorry, what?
What makes the bread so unique?
It's something about the Cuban bread. It's just warm and tasty and a little outside crust and inside just really, just good comfort food.
Nice. So let's talk about their Cubano sandwiches. What are the main ingredients in it?
I've got to bring in my sous chef here. My dear bride, come over here.
Hi, Lynn.
Hey, Christine.
I know how to order one. I don't know how to make one.
So I think it's
mojo pork,
mojo pork, okay.
ham,
All right.
a little bit of mustard on the bread,
Mustard, got
a
it.
little bit of pickle,
All right.
and then there's Miami style and Tampa style. Tampa style has salami, which personally I prefer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that's what Columbia serves. It's just a thin slice. It's not
Yeah.
a lot.
And is there cheese? Do I add a Swiss cheese or something?
Yep, with cheese. Yep.
What a cheese.
All right,
Yep.
so I can handle that.
And then the bread, it's pressed.
So I
when
get
you
a
have your
thick, crisp bread and then press it down?
Yep.
All right, all right. And what about other like citrusy? If I were to do like a rice and bean dish with it to make it Cuban style, would I add in things like cilantro, pineapple just to zest it up, give it a little bit more bold fruit flavor?
Could be. Truthfully, when we were in Cuba, their fresh produce was limited, so because they were selling it all to all the high-end restaurants. So,
Well, we'll try to
Not
make our
sure.
own high-end
I would-
restaurant
yeah.
here then.
because I know the mojo pork has orange in it usually as
Definitely.
a dominant.
And you can
So,
always fry up some plantains.
that I have in stock. Fried plantains
Very
we are going to use. All right, well, I'm going to take all of these flavor influences and we will come up with an amazing dish today. Stay tuned. All right, so you heard it from my dad. He knows what great food is, but he doesn't always know what goes into it. Thank God for he and Lynn, because between the two of them, we have got some masterful flavors here. I'm going to take their ideas and flavor influences, and today's meal is going to be a vegan mojo pork. Now, I will include the recipe here, whether you're doing it as traditional pork or whether you're using jackfruit as your meat substitute, and I'll tell you kind of the pros and cons of each of these here. So, first thing is first, to do the mojo pork, we're going to be slow cooking this for about 4 hours. So I have everything prepared and measured out. All of the ingredients are going to be listed on the screen so that you can pause, add it in as you go, and just have these tropical, amazing, sweet and savory flavors all combined. So first things first, we are gonna take our jackfruit and put this into the slow cooker. So for those of you who don't know, this is what jackfruit looks like. Literally get it in a can at Trader Joe's. I have 3 cans that I'm using. Now, if you are using pork, you wanna do 3 to 4 pounds of pork shoulder or pork butt, and you're gonna put it into larger chunks to throw into your slow cooker so that it can cook evenly throughout. So we're just gonna dump all of this in here. Now the thing about jackfruit, even though when you shred it, it gets this amazing, really meaty texture, there's actually no protein in it. And for somebody who is going vegetarian or vegan, you still want to be able to have healthy ways to get your protein. Traditionally, when you're looking at meats like pork, it's going to have the complete proteins, the full amino acids that your body needs. Now, to tell you what that means really quickly, your body naturally, of the 20 amino acids to have healthy cell regeneration, and on its own produces 11. The other 9 is where you get from animal food. So, with that, if you're doing vegan or vegetarian, you've got to find ways to create your own complete protein, and that is by combining a grain and a plant-based. So we'll get our protein for this meal by doing a rice and bean dish on the side, and we'll come back to that later. But first, let's get these seasonings in. So what we have to add onto your pork or your jackfruit is 3/4 cup of broth. I'm using a vegetable broth. You can use any kind of broth, whether it's beef, chicken, or vegetable. Go ahead and just pour that over here. And then you need to add a little citrus. I'm using 1/2 cup of a low sugar orange juice just to keep the sugar and the calories down. 1/2 cup of your type of orange juice of choice. Just pour that right over the top here. And then we need to add a little more citrus. So I have both lime and lemon juice. It's 1/4 cup each for both of them. We'll just add that to the top here. And then we need to add some vegetables and seasonings to give you just that oomph and all the flavor that goes into it. So we've got a full onion chopped here, an entire head of garlic that's already been kind of disassembled and peeled, and then a chopped jalapeno. So we're just gonna take all of this, pour it right over the top. We'll mix all of that in just a minute. And last but not least, we have to put our seasoning mix in. So we are gonna be using salt, pepper, paprika, dried oregano, cumin, and we'll be topping it with 2 bay leaves. So we're just gonna sprinkle this over the top here, get it really evenly mixed. Grab a spatula just to be able to mix this down into it. Top it with 2 bay leaves. Set your slow cooker on low for 4 hours, and we'll check in periodically through the day just to make sure that all of the flavors are melding together beautifully and it's cooking to perfection. We'll see you soon. Okay, so not the kitchen, obviously. This is my backyard. My husband is absolutely an amazing gardener, and I'm fortunate enough that we grow a lot of our own herbs and vegetables. So we've got cilantro growing in my herb bin right now. We're gonna take just a couple of sprigs of this so that we can chop it up, have fresh cilantro to toss in with the lime and the rice for our dish tonight. So we're just gonna come over here, take a couple of cuts. We'll grab the cilantro that we need, and we're gonna go in and chop this and have some beautiful, oh, it smells so good. The fresh cilantro is absolutely the best. If you don't grow it yourself, then of course you can get it at the grocery store, but delicious. Okay, so it's time to do our rice and beans. So, to do Cuban beans, we're gonna sort of cheat today because again, you've gotta go with what's in your house. So, I have a can of black beans. These happen to be black bean Fiesta season. So, if you don't have Fiesta, you can just add your own party into the can as we go. So, first things first, you're gonna come over and we're gonna put this into our pan. I'll just bring this over so you can see. I'm going to dump the can of black beans into our pan. We're gonna put this on the burner. I already have it on warm. Now, in order to make these Cuban style, you wanna add a little bit of flavor influence. So right here, come on, zoom in, don't be shy. We've got a red bell pepper that's already been chopped up. You have a half of a red onion that's chopped, and you've got 2 garlic cloves. All chopped up, beautiful. We're gonna throw this in. We're gonna mix it with our seasoning. So I've got some sea salt. You can use kosher salt or sea salt. You just want a little bit thicker grain on the salt. And then add your cumin and your dried oregano. We're gonna throw all of these in and just cook the beans together with it. So follow me over. Let's get these beautiful flavors added in. Just gonna toss that in. It looks so good. Let me just take my spatula and make sure I get everything in here. And we're gonna let these cook on a medium heat for probably about 10 or 15 minutes tops. You just wanna make sure that they get warm and all of these flavors have time to meld together and cook through. Now on my other pan, you can see that I've got the water boiling. I'm going to be starting the rice. Again, like I said, you want to work with what you have in your house. I have minute rice. So, here's my rule of thumb. If you can read, you can cook. If you cannot make minute rice, then this cooking show, you've got no hope, I'm sorry. Basically, it's equal parts rice and water. Boil the water, throw the rice in, you cook it for a minute, 5 minutes, whatever your box tells you. Fluff it with a fork and it's done. I will show you how I'm gonna zhuzh it up as soon as the rice is done, but basically, my water is boiling. I have my measured out rice, 1.5 cups of water, 1.5 cups of rice. Pour it in, we will cover it, let it simmer for the 5 minutes. Voila, my rice will be done. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. My beans are pretty much warm. We're just gonna give those a little stir. Make sure that those flavors are just melding together. Zoom in, take a look at how amazing these look. So delicious. This is gonna be absolutely spectacular in our dish. So those are just gonna stay on low and warm. Our rice has been cooked. You fluff with fork because that's what the box says to do. So we've got this delicious rice. Now, we need to make this like zest it up a little bit. So you're gonna add about a 1/4 cup or so of your lime juice for this. Now, you could either measure it out or just do 2 circles around to give you about the right amount of juice that you need. Add your cilantro. We're gonna use about 1/2 of a little ramekin of chopped cilantro here. And then we want to add a few more flavors to this. So I'm going to take a slotted spoon and grab my canned pineapple chunks just to drain some of the juice out. And we are going to take about 1/2 of a can here and add this in so that we have this really delicious pineapple, cilantro, lime rice. We'll just stir all of that in and let that warm together until we're ready to dish the plate up. So now that we've got all of this going, we need to get going on our fried plantains. So I'm going to show you 2 versions. I typically, dropped a little rice, let's get that back in there. I typically air fry mine. Now I understand that not everybody has an air fryer at home, and so I'm going to show you the authentic way of doing this. Let me rinse my hand off here. First thing is first, we need to make sure that we are cutting into the plantain. Now they look like gigantic bananas, but they are not nearly as easy to peel as that. So in order to properly do this, you're gonna come over to a cutting board, slice the ends off of both sides, and then you're gonna take your knife and you wanna cut into the entire perimeter. Now you're not gonna cut through, you just wanna cut into the peel here. That way you can take it, and it's really a very tough peel, so you want to make sure that you can kind of peel it back, get your thumb in between the actual plantain and the rind here, and you can just peel it away. That way it'll just come right off. And if you have some spots and darker spots onto the actual peel, it tells you that it's riper and it's going to be a little bit sweeter. So this is what you want to look for. So we're going to go ahead and peel this, and we're going to slice it into about 1/2 inch rounds, just taking it and slicing ever so slightly in a diagonal. So we'll get this undone and get it over to the skillet. Okay, so I am doing 2 versions of the fried plantains. I've already started my air fryer, so the fried plantains that are in there have about 6 minutes to go. Typically, you just slice them just like I have here. Come on in, take a peek. This is a single full plantain. Slice it at a diagonal, about a 1/2 inch thick for each one. I sprayed my air fryer with a little bit of just vegetable spray, threw them in for 15 minutes. I will come back and grab them. Now, if you don't have that air fryer, like I said, I'm going to teach you how to do them more authentic. So I've got the oil, just regular vegetable oil. It is very hot right now. You're going to take these plantains and just throw them in. Be very careful of the splatter, but you're going to deep fry these for just a couple of minutes on each side. Like I said, be careful of the splatter. It is very hot. We'll grab our tongs, just make sure that all of these are covered in oil. Just listen to them sizzle here. Come on and take a peek here. While those are going, I'm just going to continue to stir my pineapple and cilantro and lime rice. This is absolutely amazing. So yummy. Everything is going to be so juicy and delicious. The rice is pretty much done, so I'm just going to turn it off so it can stay warm on the warmer. Same with our beans. And we're going to take the plantains in just a minute here and flip them over. They're going to be really a nice golden dark brown on each side. And take a peek. Look at these. You can just see how crisp. Now what's great about the fried plantains is they get really crisp on the outside and really soft and warm on the inside. Okay, it's time we've all been waiting for. My jackfruit mojo seasoned vegan pork is done. It is ready to be plated up. So let's get this set up. So take your plate, you're gonna come over, we're gonna start with rice. So just take a little scoopful of the rice. Let me set my plate down so I can do this with 2 hands. Take a little scoop. We're gonna do this as the base. So make a nice little bed of rice here. Make sure you get some pineapple because you want to make sure you've got all of those amazing juices. Now we're going to come over from there and you're going to take a little bit of your Cuban beans and you're going to pour these on the top. So you're going to think about a cup of rice, about a 1/2 cup of beans. Pour those on the top. Just take a look at how this looks so far. Amazing. Now I'm going to come over here. We're going to grab 1 more spoonful so that we can grab our shredded mojo jackfruit. Now we're going to come take this. Look how beautiful this came out. Absolutely spectacular. There's so much juice on here. I cannot wait. So you've got it topped here. Next on the list, we want to add fried plantains. So I have both versions here. This is the deep fried, this is the air fried. Both of them are going to be crisp on the outside and soft on the inside. One just has a few more calories. Pick which indulgence you want. Both of them are absolutely delicious. For my meal today, I'm going to use the air fried ones. So we're just going to make a really beautiful little frame around. Take that there. Take some fresh avocado. I already have this sliced and cubed, so we're just going to drop some avocado onto the top here. And then we are going to garnish with just a sprinkle of fresh cilantro. And voila, you have your Cubano rice bowl for Easter dinner. Enjoy, everybody, and trust me when I say there are plenty of leftovers, so if you stick with me for just a little bit longer, I'll show you how to make Cubano sandwiches with their leftovers. Bon appetit!